push the hands down and forward, shift your hips up and back, lengthen the spine. And then with your next inhale, lift your right leg straight up and back for a three-legged dog. Look to the top of your mat. And as you exhale, next, lunge your right foot between your hands. Create a long stride, either setting up with fingertips on either side of your front foot, or you can have blocks underneath your hands. Melt the hips down and forward till your right thigh is parallel to the floor. You might bend the back knee momentarily to really feel the weight of your hips. And then lift through your back inner thigh. All of a sudden I have 2 viewers, that's awesome. My husband came in here and adjusted something, so the count must have been off. But I'm glad you're here, thank you for being here. I feel better not talking to nobody, so cool, I like you. Shoulders away from the ears, squeeze your legs together to tone the muscles of your legs. And simultaneously extend forward through your front knee and back through your left heel. So get that contraction and expansion happening, that paradox of expanding and contracting at the same time. How can it be done? Well, we're doing all sorts of amazing things here in our yoga class. Okay, push your hips back, straighten your right leg, perhaps walk your hands back in space as you round your spine. Chin comes towards the chest, forehead comes towards or to the knee in this modified pyramid pose. Root down through the base of your right big toe, pull back through your right hip, lift into your right kneecap, round the spine. Inhale to walk the hands forward, frame the front foot. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, hips go back, straighten the right leg, round the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Inhale, come forward to your lunge. Last time, exhale, go back. And inhale to come forward. Frame the front foot, send the right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the left leg. Look to the top of the mat and with an exhale, lunge your left foot between your hands. Set up with a long stride, ankle below the knee, hands on either side of the front foot. Melt the hips down and forward, gently bending the back knee to feel the weight of the hips, and then lift strongly through the inner upper thigh on that back leg. Shoulders away from the ears, collarbones broad. Feel your feet on the floor, scissor them in, and then expand from your pelvis. Forward through the knee, back through the heel. And then we're gonna flow a little bit with the breath. Exhale, send the hips back, root through the left big toe, lift into the left kneecap, pull back through the left hip, around the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Modified pyramid pose. Inhale, come forward to the lunge. Exhale, send the hips back, round the spine. Feel free to move, make adjustments to my directions. So make this practice your own thing. Make this practice an expression of what you're discovering in your body on your mat today. You could just be sitting, you could just, not just, I try not to use this, I'm trying not to use this word just too much in the practice. You could be taking a child's pose for the whole duration of this practice, and that would be awesome. I would love that if you just sat here and did child's pose. Just again. Hard to kick some verbal patterns. Push back, downward facing dog if you have not already. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down knees, chest and chin to the floor, tailbone in the air. Inhale, slide forward, shoulder blades on the back, curl up. Exhale, lower down, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Look to the top of your mat and exhale, lunge your right foot forward between your hands. Exhale, lower your back knee, scissor the legs in. You can pad the back knee if you want or need with a blanket or a doubled up mat. Scissor the legs in as you bring your hands to your front thigh. Interlace your fingers, press your elbows straight to prop up your chest. Lower ribs in and back, tailbone lengthens down, collarbones broad. And then as you exhale, melt your hips down and forward. Keep wrapping the left outer hip forward to keep your hips squared towards the room in front of you. And now take your arms to your sides, roll your shoulders back, open your palms forward, and as you inhale next, sweep your arms out, up and overhead so that your palms come to touch.
Look up as you tilt the sides of your neck back, tilt the tops of your ears back, reach through the fingertips, and you might even start to curl gently back in the upper body as you pull your biceps back towards or even behind your ears. Bring the chest forward, hands frame the front foot, send the right leg back, down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg straight up and back. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge your left foot forward. Bend the right knee to the mat. Scissor the legs in, hands to the front thigh. Interlace the fingers, press the elbows straight, sides of the waistline back. Lengthen your tailbone down as you prop your chest up. Keep scissoring in the legs, right knee forward, left foot back as you melt the hips down and forward. As much or as little as you need. So my class yesterday and my class on Monday, I was really getting into this metaphor or this comparison of how you're moving into the yoga poses, just like Goldilocks is eating through the porridges and sitting in all the chairs. So you're finding the pose that's not too much, not too little, not too hot, not too cold, but just right. Arms at your sides, roll the shoulders back, palms up and forward. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, palms touch. Turn your gaze up, tilt your head back, curl in your upper back as you reach your fingertips along the ceiling towards the back wall. Keep the right outer hip wrapping forward, left hip melts towards the left heel. And then bring the chest forward, hands to frame the front foot, send the left leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, either lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, curl, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, lower, push back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, push the hands down and forward, shift the hips up and back. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, lift your right leg, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge your right foot forward, melt the left knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands frame the front foot and step forward, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shin, shoulder blades on the back, extend the chin and chest forward. Exhale and fold in. Inhale, sweep your arms out, up and overhead, pushing down through your feet as you reach up through your fingertips. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, flow forward, fingertips to the floor, release your head. Inhale, palms to shin, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, as you fold, lunge the right foot back, right knee to the floor. Inhale, hips forward, chest up, gaze up, palms touch. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, step back, plank position. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower down, method of your choice. Inhale, curl up into your back bend. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last biggest breath in. Slowly let it out. You might sigh through the mouth. Inhale, left leg lifts. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge the left foot forward, long stride, knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, step forward, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise with the breath, push down through the feet, lift the hands. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last flow, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, gracefully fold forward, head down, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold as you send the left leg back, knee down. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, right leg back. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower down, method of your choice. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog.
Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, sigh it out. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale to the outside, or inhale and plank. Exhale and plank. Inhale, outside of the right foot, inside the left foot, sweep the left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down, back to plank. Inhale, outside of left foot, inside of the right foot, right arm up, lift the hips. Exhale, hand down, toes down. Second round, inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, lower. Last round, inhale, left arm lifts, left leg lifts for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand down, foot down, back to plank. Exhale, inhale, open up. Right leg lifts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand down, foot down. Press back down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge your right foot forward between your hands. Lower the left knee down to the mat or to padding. Scissor the legs together. Look over your left shoulder, point your left toes, bend your left knee. Reach for the inside or outside of your left foot. Once you have a good grip on the foot, kick your foot into your hands. And then pull your heel towards your outer hip. If this is crampable situation here, you might, do some of this stuff to alleviate the cramping situation. So let the shoulder be drawn back. Big old quad stretch here. You can lunge the hips forward as much or as little as you want to. You can shift the hips back like this to lessen the sensation here. So again, that idea of the perfect porridge, the pose that's not too hot, not too cold, but just right for where you're at today. And that temperature, what temperature you want your porridge at is going to be different from day to day, from practice to practice. So tune in to what serves you today in your body, on your mat. Okay, so let's do the second side of this. We'll look over the right shoulder and then reach for the outside of the foot with the right arm. So left foot to right arm, right hand. Kick the foot, pull the heel, melt the hips forward or don't. And then if you still want to heat up your porridge here, you might bring your left forearm to the floor, revolve your chest towards the right wall. So these big quad stretches, I just love them, guys. I just love them. So I love them because they're so intense, and I enjoy intensity in my practice. That's the kind of thing where I'm like, I can't believe all of that is just in there, and I need to get it out. I need to get all of that tension, that tightness out, because it feels good to expand. I love the expansive experience of yoga. So if you're like me, you're just like, well, I could just do this another 3 rounds on each side. Okay. If you're like, what the F are you talking about? That's cool too. Okay, we're gonna send the hips back, frame the front foot with both hands so that the left hip is over the left knee. Draw back through the right toes, lift through the right kneecap, extend the length of the torso over the right leg, then you might walk the hands forward. You might begin to melt the forearms down, tuck the chin to the chest, draw the forehead towards or to the leg. So this is a variation of a runner stretch. You might be familiar with this in different settings. So if you have tight hamstrings, they're gonna be talking to you right now. And if you have tight hamstrings, this is a great thing for you to be doing. So usually the poses that are the most challenging are usually the ones that are giving you the best results for your body. and for your well-being, I hope. Okay, from here, let's rock back into a lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the back heels, send it back, down dog. We're gonna do all that on the second side. Left leg lifts, look to the top of the mat, exhale, lunge. Long stride, right knee down, scissor the legs together, shoulders away from the ears. Look over the right shoulder, bend the right knee, or point the right toes, bend the right knee. Reach with the hand or a strap to the inside of the foot. Kick the foot into the hand, pull the heel towards the outer hip. Rock the hips back to cool down that porridge. Rock the hips forward to heat it up. So I was I've been speculating this week on what the actual moral of the story of Goldilocks is, which is not, it's really not to find your perfect porridge, I don't think. Because I think we're trying to tell children not to break into strangers' houses. And I don't think the idea is break into strangers' houses and then find all the stuff that you really want. Just steal the stuff you really want. Don't eat the porridge that is not right for you. Which would be a funny moral. But yeah, what is the moral? Don't break into strangers' houses. There's really no consequence for Goldilocks, if you recall. Maybe in some versions of it. In all the versions I've read, my kids, she gets away scot-free. Scotch-free or scot-free? Let me know. Give me a chat. Scotch-free or scot-free? Okay, reach with your left hand for the inside of your right foot. Kick your foot into your hand. Pull your heel towards your hips. Back off with the hips. Go deeper. Revolve the chest towards the left wall if you so desire. Actually, grab the outside of the foot. If I told you to grab the inside, I misspoke. I like practicing along with you because I feel what you're feeling. Well, to a degree. I feel a version of what you're feeling. I'm going through the same thing in my own body, on my own mat. So if I do something in the practice, if I guide you somewhere that doesn't feel right for me, I tend to either back you out of there or change the sequence next time. So that's my line of thinking. Okay, release that right foot. Send the hips back. Left toes towards the ceiling. I'm starting to feel more like we're hanging out, my viewer, whoever you are. Just love you. You're just my favorite person in the whole wide world. Pull your left hip back. Pull your left toes back. Extend your torso over your left leg. Possibly start to walk your hands forward. Possibly begin to melt your forearms towards the floor. Chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Again, coming into this runner stretch. And you might shift your hips from side to side, changing the emphasis on your hamstrings. Going from the inside to the middle to the outside. Okay, back to the lunge, and let's go ahead and step it forward. Okay, my thinking right now is like, let's get some heat going, let's feel like we did some moving, and then we're gonna do a long, luxurious hand to big toe pose. It's just gonna be like the best thing you've done ever in your whole life. Okay, so promise, that's guaranteed. Okay, big toes touch. And stand up, push your feet into the floor, tone the muscles of your legs so that your kneecaps lift. Lift along the front of your torso, lengthen down through your tailbone. So front of the pelvis lifts up, tailbone lengthens down. That's important. So a lot of times we come to our standing pose like this with the pelvis tilted forward. So we want to lengthen through that low back. Well, now that I just made such a big point of doing that, now we have to do a back bend here. So thanks me. Arms, because I love back bends. Arms at your sides, shoulder blades on the back. Open your chest up, push down through your feet, lengthen through the crown of the head, soften at the edges of your mouth. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, interlace the fingers, cross the thumbs, point the index fingers to the sky, grow tall. Exhale, upper body leans to the right.
So this lean might be just like this. It might just be like a little teeny tiny lean that creates a whole lot of heat in your left side body porridge. So you might just be here. If you're turning up the heat, push the hips to the left, use the right arm to pull the right side body longer. I'm giving you control of your practice, your body. That's not even mine to give. You just have that. You just have that and you use it. Do your thing. Inhale back to center, grow tall. Exhale, upper body to the left, hips shift to the right. Push down through your feet, lift into your kneecaps, and then push it further or don't. Like I said, you don't need me to tell you what you can and can't do. You're you, and it's your practice, and yeah, just do it. Breathe into your right side body. Heat up the porridge, cool down the porridge, find what's right for you. Explore, be interested, embrace where your body is today. Inhale back to center, and you might keep the arms overhead if you want to. I'm going to modify by bringing my hands to the back of my skull. Cup the back of your skull with your thumbs, widen your elbows out to either side of the room. Hug your shoulder blades together behind your heart. Again, lengthen down through the tailbone, lift along the front of the hip points. So this is where that instruction really comes in handy. So it helps you to root down through the feet as you lift into the back of the heart. So from the back of the heart, lift towards the ceiling as you curl your head back into your hands and look up. Now you might stay here. This might be your ideal porridge position. If you need to heat it up, you might begin to release the head even more back into the hands as you continue to lift the heart. Take your gaze along the ceiling towards the back wall. Curl, lift up, curl back, lift up, curl back, round from the hips to the heels. And then bring your chest forward, arms forward. Head comes up last. Shake out those arms. And inhale to sweep your arms overhead. Palms touch as you look up. Exhale, gently bend your knees
to touch the floor. Release your head down and then walk out your forward fold. So one knee bends, the other knee bends. You're just letting the upper body hang forward as you release through the lower spine. Then, if this feels all right for your knees, we're going to bend the knees forward, lift up onto the toes, and take a seat towards the heels. Let's do that once. Let's do that twice. And then we are going to come into our fiercely awkward chair. That's my new name for the pose. People call it fierce pose. People call it awkward chair. I think fierce pose is preferred to awkward chair because awkward chair is not a very triumphant sounding pose. I'll turn this way so you can see me sit in this awkward chair more clearly because it is awkward, but it's fiercely awkward. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's sit our butts down. Walk your fingertips behind your heels and get those hips low, thighs parallel to the floor. Weight in the heels, weight in the fingertips, hug the knees and ankles together. If the knees and ankles are not coming together, then find a block and slide it between your thighs. Tuck your chin to your chest, round your forehead towards or to your knees. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Try to create more space between the vertebrae along the back side of your body. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the feet down, lift the hips up, walk your hands forward, fold forward, exhale. Inhale, palms to shins, shoulders on the back, chin and chest forward. Exhale, fold in, fingertips and head down. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, look up, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Second step, inhale, sweep up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, take your seat in your chair. Hips, thighs parallel to the floor. Spine rounds, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees, belly button in towards the spine. Keep the hips low, look forward. Reach your arms forward like you're holding a box. Reach through your fingertips, plug your arms back into your shoulder sockets, sides of the waistline back, weight in the heels, ankles and knees, hug together for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips high, head low, fold. Inhale, palms to shins, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, fold even deeper. Inhale, sweep the arms out, up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms at your sides. Tadasana, inhale, sweep up, last time, exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, take that seat into your fiercely awkward chair. Round the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees, belly button in towards the spine. Look forward, arms forward like you're holding a box. Plug your arms into your shoulder sockets, sides the waistline back, hips stay low. And now start to look up as you curl up. Reach your gaze, your fingertips, your heart to the sky while keeping your hips in that fiercely awkward chair. Ankles and knees in, sides of the waistline back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up, arms overhead. Take your hands onto your heart. Close your eyes. Feel the beat of your heart, the ebb and flow of your breath. Draw more air in with your next inhale. Allow an additional moment at the end of your next exhale to empty your lungs. Observe your body at this moment. The effect of the work, the poses so far. So I'm really a fan of the hot, cold, slow, fast, go hard, then rest approach to the yoga sequencing, because I really think that one of the great benefits of a yoga asana practice, the practice of the postures, is going from these moments of intensity and engagement straight into a moment of release, straight into a moment of stillness. And not only are we transitioning our bodies through those moments, but we're attempting to transition our minds to stay with our bodies through those moments. Arms at your sides, turn on your mat 90 degrees. Have your blocks handy in front of you. If you have an adult size or a child size hula hoop lying around, now is the time to get that out too. Walk your heels wide apart, wide-ish for goddess pose. Turn your toes out at about a 45-degree angle, hands to your hips, shoulder blades on the back, and we'll begin to bend the knees in the direction of the toes, sinking the hips down to the level of the knees. Lengthen down through the tailbone. Draw the upper body back, extend through the inner thighs, sweep the arms overhead, exhale, right arm underneath your left, palms touch or grab shoulders. Eagle arms, elbows lift, forearms away from the face, upper body back, extend through the inner thighs, contract through the outer hips, weight in the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep the arms overhead, keep your hips low, exhale, left arm underneath the right, palms together or grab your shoulders, lift the elbows, forearms away from the face, upper body back, extend through the inner thighs, contract through the outer hips, weight in the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms up, legs straight, sweep up, reach up, exhale, arms to your sides. Heel toe your feet back together, grab your imaginary or otherwise hula hoop. Okay, here we go. Make circles with your hips in one direction. Hula hooping is the universally agreed upon counter pose to goddess. I don't know, nobody else knew that except me. I universally agreed on it for this yoga room. Okay, other direction. Whoa. Okay, loose knees, loose ankles. I seriously learned a hula hoop from learning with an invisible hula hoop. It works magic. If you ever want, at some point when we're all out of our houses, if you would like to borrow my hula hoop, I would be happy to lend it to you. It's a very fun thing to do, in my opinion. Okay,
shake your legs wide apart. Back edges of the heels aligned with the back edges of your mat. Outer edges of the feet parallel to the short ends of your mat. So wide is relative here, as I like to say. Take your feet as wide as you are comfortably taking your feet. As you get deeper into the expression of this pose, your feet will actually come closer together. Hands to the hips, elbows towards the back wall, collarbones broad, tailbone lengthens down, chin and chest lift. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bring the chin and chest parallel to the floor, plant your wrists below your shoulders. Thigh bones back, lengthen along the front of your torso, and then bring your left hand below your face. Bring your right hand to your low back as there's setting a glass of water there. And then begin to revolve your left ribs towards the right wall as you stack your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder without spilling your glass. So you want the hips to remain level. If the shoulders are stacked, you might sweep your right arm skyward, opening up across your collarbones. If you have the space, you might turn your palm and then wrap your arm around the back of your hips, grabbing the left upper thigh. Right shoulder hugs deeply onto the back of the chest, thigh bones push back, crown of the head forward, revolve around the central channel of your spine, which is parallel to the floor. And then look down, right hand down, left hand to your wide-based glass of water. Don't get too nervous about your glass, is what I'm saying with the wide base thing. Push your thigh bones back, and then begin to revolve your right ribs towards the left wall. Left shoulder blade on the back. Open up across the front of your chest. If your shoulders are stacked, you might take your left arm up. If your left arm is up, you might experiment with turning that palm back and wrapping the hand around the top of the right thigh. Hugging the left shoulder blade deeply onto the back of the chest as you revolve around that central channel. Belly button in towards the spine. Belly button towards the left waistline. And then look down, hand down. Begin to fold forward. Walk your hands back so that the elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle. You might work towards a place where your fingertips are lined up with your toes. If you're there, you might work towards a place where your fingertips are lined up with your heels, meaning that they're coming off the back of your mat. Okay, find a place to ground your head, whether this be a whole bunch of blocks. Perhaps you're up here, pushing down through the crown of your head. Perhaps you're here. Perhaps you have a blanket. Whatever is appropriate for you, wherever your perfect porridge is, be there and notice what you're feeling in that shape. Remember that we are not here to create perfect poses. We're not here because anybody's watching us. We're not here to service the poses. The poses are passed down, passed around, so that we can have a deeper experience of our bodies, use this experience to have a deeper experience, to bring ourselves into the present moment. So that's my whole thing. Get to where you're going, and then be there. Be with your breath. Ask yourself what you're feeling, how you're feeling, where you're feeling, and let those questions bring you into your body and bring you into the experience of the moment where there is the option to enjoy and appreciate where you are and what you have. Where you are and what you are. Okay, if you're going to do it, now would be the time to come up into your tripod headstand. So lift into your shoulders, push down through the crown of the head, begin to elevate your feet one at a time, or together at the same time, up and overhead. Thigh bones back, tailbone lengthens up. Push down through the crown of the head, lift the shoulder blades away from the floor to keep a long and safe, secure neck. This is a pose I'm not crazy about holding for very long. So if you are, stay up. If you want to come down, come down. If you're still in this place, we're all going to start to come out of the wide-legged forward fold. Hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline, heel toe your feet back together. I just have this feeling that I don't want to get out my hula hoop again because I don't want to make you guys jealous if you don't have your own hula hoop. So I'm going to invisible hula hoop with you. Hips in one direction. You're just making big circles with your hips. Your upper body's kind of staying stationary. I'm trying to come up with some things to do with my upper body while I'm hula hooping. I think juggling might be a good thing to do. I'm kind of throwing me off. Okay, hips in the other direction. Do this. Because you're just in your house and I can't see you, so look as silly as you want to look. Okay. We're going to do that Supta Padangusthasana series as promised, and then we're going to do some arm balances. Get ready. It's going to be all so great and fun. I remembered just now how I built up this is going to be like the best thing you've ever done, and I almost forgot to do it. So good thing I didn't forget, so you still get to do the best thing you've ever done. Okay, lie on your back. Extend out through your legs. Lengthen through your tailbone and grab a strap. If you do not have a strap, there are many things that can substitute for a strap. You can use a necktie, you can use a towel. I think those are enough options. I think everybody has a towel. I'm sorry if you don't have a towel. Ground through your left leg, draw your right knee into your chest, take the strap or strap substitute around your right foot, and extend your right leg straight or straight-ish. Lengthen along the back of the leg, reach through the heel, and once you have your leg as straight as it's going to get, then start to lift your heel towards a 90-degree angle. So 90 degrees might be the first, the goal that you're striving for or moving towards. If you have achieved 90 degrees and you want more, you gotta heat up this porridge, then start to walk the hands closer to the foot, up the strap, and bring the legs closer to the chest. If you are like me and you've been doing this all week, you might find that your hands are getting closer to your foot. You might find that maybe even that foot is within range. So I recommend that you keep your head and shoulders on the floor. Stay honest with yourself. Are your head and shoulders on the floor? You don't really need to grab that foot. Even for me, that was a little bit of a stretch. That was getting into some Papa Bear porridge for me. So I'm gonna hold my strap with both hands, extending along the back of the right leg as I ground my left leg. So keep the left leg straight and strong, grounding to the earth as you focus on the back of the right leg. So what are you feeling? Where are you feeling? Is there a certain place along the back of the right leg that feels like it's restricting the movement of the leg? If so, focus your mind, focus your attention, focus the movement of energy through that space. So consider that it's not just putting your body through these poses that will create change over time, but it's also the amount of attention, the amount of attention and intention that you're bringing to your practice that's really going to affect change. Now that statement just felt really profound to me. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, whoa, I think that's true. Other times I say things and I'm like, what am I talking about? Okay, right leg out to the right. No, I'm just kidding. I try to say things that I think are true. Left thigh grounds, extend through your right inner thigh, extend through your right inner leg, widen your right outer hip away from your right armpit, keeping the right side of your body long. And for this extension, to heat up the pose, you might reach for the outside edge of the foot. That's one modification of the pose. Or you might lift the heel higher, so lift the leg higher while keeping the left leg grounded and rooted. So this is your base. You're keeping your base leg pushing downward. Okay, from here we're going to sweep the leg across the body, past the strap or the foot into the left hand. Extend the right arm out to the right, and then guide the leg gently, mindfully over. So the right hip is going to come off of the floor for this version for this particular pose. Sometimes I am in classes and they just instruct the pose to here. So you're keeping the hip down and you're reaching the leg across. I find that also to be
quite intensely wonderful. But this is the form that I'm instructing today, so you can experiment with the other one. Again, feel like you are, I think at this time, I know in my house we're experiencing a lot of power struggles, and I really, we always are, but particularly now, and I feel that is partially a result that we all feel a little lack of control over the situation that we're in, and that can I think that kind of leads to everybody wanting to control what you can control. So let this be an arena where you have the control. I'm not trying to control you. I want you to be free, man. Okay. Bring your right thumb to your right hip crease if you want more hot porridge here. Man, I've done this 3 days in a row, and I'm telling you, it's effective. I've done it 4 days in a row, because I did one day where I was like, what am I going to do for my practice this week? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard that first day. Okay, bring the right leg back to center. Re-square your hips. Wrap your arms around your right leg. Point your fingertips up towards your heel. Try to keep your left leg grounding. As you tuck your chin to your chest, curl your forehead towards your leg, pull your leg towards your forehead, chin to the chest, belly button in towards the spine. Arms might walk up the back of the leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and head down, shoulders down, left knee to the floor. Pull your right knee in and up towards your right armpit and grab the inside and outside of the foot with both hands. Interlace your fingers, angle your shin perpendicular to the floor, sole of the foot open to the ceiling, and then begin a little push and pull. Pushing your foot into your hands and pulling your knee down towards the floor with your hands. So this is called half happy baby pose, and take the time to notice what it's doing, what sensations it's creating in your body. Do you want less from this? Then lift the knee away from the floor. Do you want more from this? You might extend your left leg straight. For me, that really affects change in the posture. Like now I'm really feeling it right here. And when I say that, I hope that doesn't make you feel that you should be feeling it there, because you just can't know. We can talk about it, but we're never going to experience yoga in anybody else's body. I keep bringing up this idea of the Freaky Friday yoga class where we just we switch our consciousness switches bodies, and we get to do yoga in somebody else's body. And then that made me think about who has been in the Freaky Friday movies. I think the 90s version was Lindsay Lohan and tell me her name. She's a real badass. Jamie Lee Curtis. Is that right? Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, 90s Freaky Friday. Okay. Bend your left knee if it's not bent already. Hook your right ankle over your left thigh. Keep your right foot flexed. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. So we're going to have lots of options to turn up the heat on this porridge. So if this is a good place for you to be with the hands clasped behind the thigh or in front of the shin, be here in this threading the needle pose. If you want to go more towards a pigeon flipped on its back, here is what I'm going to ask you to do. Bring your right foot into the crux of your left elbow, your knee into the crux of your right elbow, interlace your fingers as though you're cradling your shin, and then extend your left leg straight. Draw the left leg downward, and your head and shoulders will lift up off the floor, somewhat awkward, fiercely awkward in the head and shoulders. So just tilt your chin to your chest a little bit. Is this where you want to be, or do you want to keep turning up the heat here by bringing the left elbow underneath the right ankle, reaching the right arm over the right ear, and then clasping the hands. So this takes the fierce awkward out of the head and neck
by allowing the head to release back into the right arm, giving you a shoulder stretch along with this deep hip stretching action. Keep the right foot flexed. Always be breathing the ABBs of yoga. Okay, left foot to the floor. If it's not, unhook and extend both legs out. Whew, don't you feel imbalanced now? Your right leg is probably like 5 miles longer than your left leg, so we'll have to do all of that on the second side. So keep your right leg grounded, bring your left knee into your chest, loop the strap around your left foot, extend your left leg straight, widen your left outer hip away as you reach up through your left heel. Head, neck, and shoulders on the floor. Keep any amount of slack on your strap. Okay. Explore that distance towards or to 90 degrees. Explore that space past 90 degrees if that's where you're at. Maybe try grabbing that foot. I didn't mention this on the first side, but traditional pose might be, the traditional expression I think is to grab the big toe with the left index and middle finger. Personally, when and if I can grab the foot, I like to hold both sides of the foot with either hand. Just so you know what I like when my birthday comes around, you can get me this pose where I'm holding both sides of my foot. Keep your right leg grounded, head and shoulders on the mat. Breathe and notice the back of your left leg. Push up through your heel, pull back through your toes. Pass the strap or the foot into the left hand. Ground the right leg with the right hand as you widen the left leg out to the left. Keep hold of the strap or grab the foot. Extend through the inseam of the left leg. Contract through the outside of the left hip. Lengthen down through your tailbone. Find your breath. Okay. Guide the left leg back towards center. Pass the foot or the strap into the right hand, left arm out to the left. Stack the hips. Hug the left shoulder back towards the floor. And how intense is this? Remember the idea that if it's so intense, this might be the perfect pose for you to be doing right now. Really intensity, maybe because of tenseness, and by coming to this place, you are addressing and alleviating some of the tension held in your body. If you'd like to turn up the heat, turn up the intensity, left thumb to the left hip crease, gently push the hip crease away. Guide the left leg back to center. Release the strap, right foot to the floor, left knee in and up towards the left armpit. And then take hold of the foot, interlace the fingers, kick and pull. Half happy baby. And again, notice what you're feeling. If it's a lot, if it's too much, if it's just kind of boring, you're like, what is the point of this pose? Then you might extend your right leg straight, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it now. Right heel, right thigh towards the floor. Kick and pull. I used to compare this kick and pull to a tug of war, but it's really the opposite of a tug of war. It's more of a sumo match. So your left foot's a sumo wrestler, your hands are another sumo wrestler. You're pushing against each other. Dynamic tension between the hands and the foot. All these cool things that you can do we're using some props, but we're mainly just using our bodies to make cool things happen. I love it. Okay, right foot to the floor. Flex your left foot, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, widen your knee away as you draw the right thigh in closer, interlace your fingers in front of your shin or behind your thigh. Choose to stay here. You're feeling this in your left hip, it feels good and enough, then own it, love it. If not so much, hook your foot into your right elbow, knee into your left elbow, extend your right leg straight, come into the awkward neck and shoulder pose. Try to soften the edges of your mouth within that. Ground the right leg downward, widen the left knee away from the shoulder, keep the right ankle straight with the foot flexed, and final option, hook the ankle into the right hand, left arm along the left ear, bend the elbow, grab the fingers, widen the knee away, release your head into your arm, wrap your right inner thigh towards the floor, extend through the right foot, soften the edges of your mouth. Oh my gosh, you guys at home are probably just like yelling and kicking and screaming and being like, why we didn't do that one thing that we did on the first side. So I just remembered that we didn't do that one thing that we did on the first side, so now we have to do it. Extend your left leg straight, wrap your arms around the back of your left thigh, tuck your chin to your chest, slide your hands up the back of your leg, pull your forehead towards or to your knee, keep your right leg grounded, belly button in towards the chest, sides of the mouth soft for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower your head and leg back down. Some of you know I'm that person in a yoga class. If I'm taking a yoga class, I'm the person who's like, teacher, we didn't do that thing. And everybody else is like, why did you say that? Okay. So let's get to those promised arm balances. I am going to try to keep it to 75 minutes, so we'll try to do this with some consciousness of that. So extend your legs straight, sit up on some padding. Like me, you may grab the flesh of your buttocks and pull it back and apart to get a better connection between your sits bones and the surface underneath your sits bones. If you have blocks, now it's going to be a really great time to use them. If you don't have blocks, it's not going to make this impossible, it's just going to make it harder. So lengthen your spine into Dandasana or staff pose. Head over heart, heart over the center of your pelvis, grounding through the sits bones, reaching through the crown of the head. Keep your left leg as it is, pushing down into the floor, and then bring your right knee into your chest. This should look familiar as we grab the right foot with the fingers, and we do a little sumo push and pull. Hands are winning, foot's winning, back and forth. Okay, this will look familiar. We're going to cradle the shin in between the elbows, and now we're going to make big circles with the femur bone, head of the femur bone in the hip socket. So one direction and the other direction. You might just continue to do this as you watch me attempt this next thing, or I would love for you to follow along on this silly journey we call Ekahasta Bhujasana. Okay, so lift the shin up. I'm going to use the thumb to press the flesh and muscle of my right calf over my shoulder. Clamp my heel down, hug my leg in. Take my hands to my blocks, which are on either side of my left thigh. Draw the sides of my waistline back. Lean the weight of my upper body forward. Make my left leg ramrod straight as though I've inserted a steel beam into my left leg. It is strong. It is straight. It's not going to bend as I push down through my hands, lift through the sides of my waistline to come up. I'm using those blocks. The blocks are great. If you don't have blocks, it's just a little further to get off the floor. just a little more core engagement. So remember, as you attempt arm balances, that a lot of the strength to get you off the floor is not just arm strength, not just shoulder strength, but core strength. So you're really drawing back through the sides of the waistline. Okay, from Ekahasta Bhujasana, very logical transition into another arm balance. So we'll just do that briefly. So all the same steps that we just took, hugging the leg onto the arm, leaning the upper body forward. We're gonna pull the rod out of the left leg. That was my miming. And then I'm gonna hook my left ankle on top of my right ankle. Pull my knees into my shoulder, adduction, hugging in, draw the sides of my waistline back, tilt my upper body weight forward, lengthen my arms, lengthen my legs, draw my waistline back, tilt my upper body forward. Okay. So if you know some fancy, amazing, cool transition out of that into something even more amazing, then I would love to see a video of that. So send me a video of you doing that, and I will love it. Love it. This blonde wood, you can't see much of my blonde skin. Okay, hands interlace the fingers, push your foot forward, draw your foot back. Sumo wrestler 1 wins, sumo wrestler 2 wins, push and pull, and then lift the shin, hug, nuzzle your shoulder underneath your calf, clamp the heel towards the hip, hug the leg onto the shoulder, tilt the upper body weight forward, draw the waistline back, insert the steel rod into your right leg, and then push down with the hands, pull up and back with the waistline. Every balance pose, every arm balance starts with a fraction of a second where you're doing the pose. And then you just expand on that fraction of a second until it's a full second, until it's 3 seconds, until it's 5 minutes. Just kidding. Never tried to do that for 5 minutes, nor do I care to. Okay, calf over my shoulder, heel towards the hip, hug the leg in, sides of the waistline forward, or sides of the waistline back, upper body forward, then unrod the leg, squeeze the legs in, hug the knees into the shoulder, adduct those legs and hips, sides of the waistline back, upper body forward, straighten the arms, hold for 5 minutes, and then lower the hips down. Take your blocks off to either side of the mat. Hands behind your hips, feet are hip width distance, push your feet down, lift your hips up. A little reverse table, look down the front line of your body, push your inner feet down, lift your outer hips up, lengthen your tailbone, shoulder blades on the back, lift your heart. And then if you'd like, release the head back, open the throat. Slowly lower the hips down, look forward. And we can do that one more time. Perhaps you turn the hands in the other direction. Or if you'd like to follow me into east facing pose, which always reminds me of flash dance, which I mentioned earlier in the week I've never seen, but everyone knows the famous flash dance, sitting in a chair getting soaked with water. Anyway, here we go. Shoulders back, chest lifts, push the feet down, legs straight. Look from your belly button up and over, release your head back. Push the feet down, lift the hips up, lengthen the tailbone, push the hands down, lift the heart up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Head forward, chin down, hips down. And make your way to lying on your back. Ooh, see, like I said, practicing with you guys, I sometimes get some ideas for what would feel good. So grab hold of your knees and just push your knees into your hands. Rock them just gently, subtly from side to side, massaging your low back into the floor. Then draw your knees more into your chest. Start to rock along your spine, just gently. Maybe it's just a little bit at first, and every time you go back, you might go higher up on your spine, you might gain a little momentum. Just explore this back body massage. Then feet back to the floor, head down, arms out to the sides of the room. Palms face up, exhale, knees to the right. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, knees to the left. So windshield wipering the legs from side to side. Perhaps coordinating your movement with your breath, perhaps pausing in one shape and then the other. One more visit with the legs to the left. And draw the knees in and up towards your armpits. So we're going to do our full happy baby now. Grab the outside edges of your feet and rock side to side. Massaging your back body again into the floor. Slowing down the practice, really calming down the practice. Feet together, interlace your fingers around the outer edges of your feet. Widen your knees out to either side of the room into a reclined bound angle or reclined butterfly pose. Extend through the inner thighs, contract through the outer hips. Press the feet into the hands so that the arms are pulled taut. The heads of the arm bones lift away from the floor. And finally, draw yourself into a big embrace. Wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs. Grab wrist, forearms, whatever you can grab. Tuck your chin to your chest and ball up. Get tighter, get denser, get smaller. And then let it all go. Extend your arms to your sides. Lengthen your legs. If it's cold where you are, you might put on some additional clothing at this time, making yourself comfortable. So set yourself up to feel supported, to feel like this is a place where your body can rest and absorb the for just briefly for today, absorb the energy of the practice. So all of that prana, that vital energy that you've stirred up, that you've drawn in, that you've pushed out, been moving it all around, and now where is it? Release the weight of your legs. Set down your arms. Unfurl your fingers, expose the palms of your hands. Let the features of the face neutralize once more as you draw your awareness inward. Invite calm into the body, sense of acceptance for the body, for the mind, for the self at this moment.
begin to reanimate fingers and toes. Slowly begin to work movement back up the limbs, maybe circling the wrists and the ankles in one direction and the other. Maybe rocking arms and legs, even the back of your head from side to side. Again, listen to yourself. How do you want to move out of this? Or do you even want to move out of this? You might stay here. When you are ready, bend your knees, feet to the floor, extend your right arm along your right ear, roll to your right side. Take a moment in this position. Recognize the transition from our Savasana, corpse pose, into this fetal shape. Press your way back to seated. Perhaps consider for a moment what thought, what feeling, what sensation, experience you might want to remember, might want to come back to from your practice today. Reflect on that now so that it's easier to return to. Something you want to remember. Something, a tool to have in your pocket that might be helpful in the coming days and the coming weeks. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll close practice with the single sound of Om. Exhale and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, however you have been present with this practice. Thank you for your focus. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you out there. Namaste. Thank you guys. For anybody who has been tuning into the live stream or watching the classes, the pre-recorded classes, please let me know. It is, I'll just say weird. It's weird to not know who's out there and not know what you're feeling about the practice, because there is some degree of like, I get a little bit of sense of what how people are taking the class in when they're in the classroom, but I really want to offer something that people are enjoying, something that people are, perhaps it's helpful in some way. Let me know what's working for you, what's not working for you. I also just want to hear from you. Just like tell me about how your dog sat on your mat the whole time. Like, I'd love to hear that. So you can email my husband at athenspublic at gmail. I think that's the email address. There should be an email address associated with this whole website. So you can email me there if you are somebody who has my number. If you know me like that, you can email me directly. You can email the Rubber Soul. Email me through Rubber Soul. Just please reach out. I want to know what you're up to. I want to hear about your dog and what it smells like. Okay. Cool. So, signing off. That's my sign off.
I didn't invent that. I will be straight with you guys. Okay, bye. Get in touch with me, please, if you are so compelled.